What's up, everyone? Toshi here. Last video, pretty much yesterday, I stated quite a few hot takes about the game, Art Gear Fusion, that is, and I didn't really go too into depth about that. And I said I would make another video where I kind of go in depth about the problems of Art Gear Fusion comparative to other games that play similarly. And I want to just say one thing: if you play Artery Gear Fusion at this point right now, and you're still one of the people that played since launch, I want to know, how do you feel about the game? Are you enjoying it? Are you having a rough time? Are you like just doing? I know a lot of people that do play this are a little more casual, casual in the sense of they'll log in, they'll do their farming, offline farming, and that's pretty much it. Exercise here and there, no RTA, right? But I really want to know what you guys think of the game as of a whole, and how do you feel about the actual state of it at this point. Um, Before we actually get into the video, I want to mention one thing. I have been playing this game since launch. I've enjoyed this game since launch. I've been making videos on this game since launch. This game has been different since when it first came out, and that's only because every game is usually like that, right? You play any waifu gacha game, there is the honeymoon phase, right? In the beginning of any game, you're chilling, you're getting a lot of summon currency, you're pulling characters left and right, you're building up all your characters, and it's a good time. You don't really focus on the bad of the game as you're playing through the best parts of the game, right? The strong parts. And I want to mention that as well. I think Artery Gear Fusion is a great character collecting game if you're lucky. Now, one of the biggest things I want to mention is that the absolute worst thing about the game, in my honest opinion, is the banners. Now, I've been a fairly lucky person, and my videos that I put out pretty much express that greatly. And I want to mention that I, for the longest time, took that for granted. Didn't realize how actually bad the gacha was in this game. Now, I played other games, Epic 7, Genshin Impact, Nikkei got us a victory now. And I think Nikkei is up there as well as being bad gacha, but that's a whole different entirely thing. Now, the reason why Artery Gear Fusion's gacha is really, really bad is because the actual rate up for the character is a 0.7% chance. Now, if you think about it, that's not that good of a rate up. Normally, when you think of rate up, you'll think of anything higher than 1%. Now, like I said, if we're comparing it to other games that play similarly, we're talking Epic 7, not Genshin, but Genshin is another good example of having the similar rate up, and you know how hard it is to pull a character in that game. But the difference between this game and Genshin Impact is that Genshin Impact at least has a understandable pity. I mean, there is a 50-50, right? But at least you have the chance to get the character before 100 summons. Now, I want to mention that as well. 200, 200 to get the character in this game is very, very, very bad. This is the worst I've ever seen in any game, and I really did not truly understand why it was this bad until I've actually had average luck, which is going pretty much halfway to pity and not getting a single SSR. That is the worst feeling any player could go through, when they're playing this game. And a lot of people have quit, and I'm going to stand by that. A lot of people have quit because the gacha in this game is really bad. You have casual free play players that want to hop in, collect characters, and play the damn game. But it's hard for them to play the damn game and collect characters when you're not even giving them a chance to collect the characters. By chance, I mean, hey, making a suitable pity. Like, I don't understand why pity in this game is 200. I just don't understand. Now, that's the very first red flag that I did, look past, and now I'm starting to understand why it pretty much ruined the game from the get go. Now, another thing I want to mention as well is the UEs. I think the UEs is great. Don't get me wrong. The UEs is a fantastic way to upgrade your character, to get them, here it is, to get them, stronger, and to be able to add special added effects to your character's kit. I think that's amazing. One of the best things we could have for the game is UEs. But I want to mention one thing. If you are not a whale, if you are not a light spinner, if you are free to play, even getting a full UE for one character is rough, right? You have to play every day, which is no problem, right? You have to play every day. You have to make sure that you get everything in the shop. If you miss a single day, your character UE is not going to be maxed out. And you can forget about maxing out the other character's UE. In this case, it was base star. I have not been able to do base star's UE whatsoever because the game just simply didn't allow me to. This game said, hey, if you want the UE, if you want more stats, if you want a necessary part of your character's kit, you have to spend money to get it. That is the scummiest thing you could ever do for any PvP gacha game. I think Epic 7 does this pretty well in making artifacts for the characters, but at least you have a chance to get the artifact pretty much at any point in the game, aside from limited artifacts, right? That's a whole different thing. And they give you upgrades that you can buy in the shop to upgrade your artifacts, your UEs, you know, whenever you pick up that special item. And that game is called a potion of knowledge, right? So that's the second red flag. The third red flag is this right here. Server semi-anniversary login reward. Now, these rewards are, let me just say, they're fucking horrible. These are the worst anniversary rewards, and they call it semi, but if you're going to market it as an anniversary rewards, you need to treat it like an anniversary. And in this case, these are not anniversary rewards. You have a whopping 3 in a, and I don't know how many pools, 3 in like half a pool, right? And then you got 10 skin tickets. It's not even enough to, you're not even going to get a skin, right? Let's just be honest. You have 10 energy capsules, which I think is good. I think the energy capsules is probably the best thing in this, and aside from the Cogos too. But then you have a AG hiring ticket. Now, how many of us have every single 4-star character in the game? What is the point of giving us this when you literally give us this pretty much every single event? As of recently, we've been able to get 4 stars by just playing the damn game. This is one of the worst things they could have done. We literally just said, hey, make this a 5-star SSR ticket. More people will be enthusiastic about, logging in and playing the game, making sure that they get all of these checkpoints done so they get to the 7th day so they can get an SSR. And heck, make it even randomized. You don't even have to make it a customizable SSR ticket. But you know what they did? They decided to put the 4-star SSR, not SSR, the 4-star SR ticket here. And instead, if we go to the shop here, they added this semi-anniversary special recruit pack. Now, I did mention before that this was going to be free. Now, listen, if you look at the wording for the actual semi-anniversary, recruit pack, or it wasn't really a pack at the time. They just said that it's going to be a recruitment 10 AG, and they pretty much marketed it as it was going to be something, which, by the way, they didn't mention it being paid whatsoever, but it ended up being paid. It is what it is. But I think this is one of the worst, or one of the easiest ways to alienate your players, because now this game is more so pay to win. In the beginning, I thought this was the most free-to-play game. But when you implement things such as this, and don't get me wrong, the characters they actually put in this damn thing is amazing. Like, I'm not even joking. If we go and take a look at the actual characters you can pick up from this here, so we go down to AG details, right? I mean, Lobelia, Alma, a phenomenal PvP eccentric character, right? Alma is a phenomenal PvP eccentric character. This character can carry your draft. She has a full team revive on her S3. And she gives them immunity and she gives them buffs according to their types. And restores HP. This is an amazing kit set, and Kagura, a very nice PvE unit, but it's fine that she's PvE. I did scroll past Lobelia, and I think Lobelia is an amazing PvE character as well. And then we have another PvP eccentric character, Yui. Yui is amazing for PvP, especially when you're going to do a protect the, carry draft with a tank, Kyoko, Jesse, and so on and so forth. This is an amazing character to have in your team comp. I'm just very disappointed that the game decided to go in this direction, because this right here was the biggest slap in the face, especially when you reveal RTA. This is not cool, man. It's just not cool. And I mean, hey, they by no means were saying, hey, we're going to be this free to play gacha game, you know, or we're gonna market ourselves as a free to play gacha game, and we'll have these microtransactions in the game. But we'll try to make the game more free to play friendly. They never mentioned that they were going to make the game free to play friendly. In fact, I'll go as far as say they didn't mention a damn thing about anything in the game. And I think that's one of the things that has been, you know, absent since the game's launch, which is that communication. Now, if we compare this to Epic 7, right? Epic 7 has a 120 character banner pity, right? Across the board, right? And then there's like mystic summons, which is your light and dark, but that's not even related to this, right? And the whopping chance to get the character is a 1% chance. Now you can get the summons for the characters relatively easily. I have no problem pitying any character I want in the game. I have no problem. But I can't say the same about Early Gear Fusion. There's always an issue trying to pity a character in this game, because if you want to pity a character in this game, you have to save up a whopping 200, which is, by the way, not even easy. You have to save up a whopping 200 summons, skip I don't know how many character banners, and hope to God that you actually pull some of these characters when you're summoning for the character you're trying to pity. Because, oh my goodness, missing out on a character like this is going to hurt your RTA draft in the future. That fucking sucks. Now, Artery Gear Fusion makes up for that by having a phenomenal gear system. Look at all these pieces of gear that I have on my account. I have tons of gear that I haven't even leveled up that I can find a use for in my account. I think that's amazing. Gear is one of the biggest things that E7 players struggle with the most, right? Especially if you are a newer player. I think this barrier entry for newer players is amazing. You're able to get into the game, you're able to build a free-to-play team to challenge the target elimination or the dungeons to pick up some gear for your AGs. And then you could transition fairly easily into the late game, and you're able to do harder PvE content, and you're also able to do real-time arena, exercise. You know, you might not be high-end on the RTA or the exercise, but you're at least able to actually play the damn game. Because the gear system in this game is amazing. The best I've ever seen in any game. So that's a trade-off. The trade-off is we have horrible gacha. I mean, absolute shitty gacha I've ever seen in any game. But we have the best, and I mean the best gear optimization I've seen in any damn game. This is amazing. I've never struggled to get any gear set to pick up any piece of gear for my characters. I have so many, I don't know what the fuck to do with. So that brings me back to the first point. The trade-off is horrible gacha, but the gearing in this game is phenomenal. So I want to sit here and just mention, you know, this is going to be something that you need to understand going forward for the future of the game. This game will never be catered towards free-to-play players whatsoever, because how can you even use the best gearing system in the game if you can't even get the damn character for your account? Now, don't get me wrong. The actual pity for limited characters and collab characters is 90, which is great. But I thought that that should be the case for the characters, you know, across the board. Why should we have to go to 200 for regular characters in the game, but collab banners are 90 summons a piece? That just doesn't make sense to me. But maybe they have some way of doing certain things, or I don't know, maybe some psychology behind it as to why they decide to go down that route. But it really pains me to say that this is the worst gacha I've ever experienced in any game, despite being lucky, right? Being the most lucky free-to-play player in this game. But I'm at the point where I've gotten tons of gear, but I'm not able to pick up any more characters because the summons have dried up and the actual rates for the characters are fucking horrible. The pity is no easy feat, right? It's very hard to get the pity, or build a pity rather. And I will say one thing that is nice. You at least get the event recruit order, and it actually carries over to your account. It doesn't transfer banners, but you at least have it. And then you're able to pity a character in the shop at some point. But you have to hope to God that the character you want to go for ends up being in the shop. Because if they're not in the shop, then you are going to sit there with a pity that you're not even able to fucking use. Or you could do a random hiring ticket and hope that you at least get one of the characters here that you wanted. By the way, Hokuto is very strong now. I thought I would mention that. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of this video. I kind of wanted to break down the worst thing or the worst aspect in this game pretty much, and that is the gacha. It took me a while to actually realize it until I've gotten average luck. Now I'm like one of you all, where I'm just, you know, hoping that I can get a character early, and if not, then I have to cry and realize or ask myself, why do I still play this damn game? I mean, I think this game is it's a decent game, if you're not expecting much out of it. But if you have expectations coming from other gacha games, Epic 7, Genshin Impact, well, you're gonna be very disappointed because this game does not hold a candle, not even close. So I thought I'd mention that. As of right now, honestly, my opinion, I'm not very hopeful for the future of this game. I don't expect this game to last by the end of next year, pretty much. Um, but you know what? I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to Eversoul. That game is coming out, and I think that game is going to be great. I will say one thing though. Billy, the company behind this game, or the publisher rather, are coming out with another game called Hagen Earthrow. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. Maybe you all seen the game. I'll try to put the game on the screen. I want to mention one thing. If you are not satisfied with Artery Gear Fusion, do you think you're going to be satisfied with that game knowing that it's made by the same publisher that made this piece of shit? I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe that game will be more free to play friendly. I hope so, right? Anyways, I hope you all got something out of this. I tried to make this semi-informal, but I also tried to paint the picture of why the game sucks as is right now, as being a day one player, right? Um, but yeah, it really pains me because I deeply enjoyed this game, especially coming from Epic 7, where getting the characters is easy, but goddamn, you struggle so fucking much with gear, right? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this or got something out of this, and yeah, I'll do Art Gear Fusion videos in the near future, for the near future rather. It's really hard to make videos on this game, when you can't really get the characters. I will try to do RTA videos, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really looking forward to it, right? Especially when this game is starting to get pay to win. It's really gonna deter me knowing that I'm just gonna get, outcashed pretty much, right? Cash game as they call it. Anyways, that's it. I've said that 20 times. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.